Good evening, everyone. Chris Schultz here, FridayNightVictors.com. This is our week 2 playoff version of our video picks. I am joined by Gary Hoff and Frank Vajner. Gary, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, although I think I have a lag here. Is it me?
I don't know. You seem fine. So if you're going to lag a little, it'll just be a little.
Somebody's lagging.
Okay. And then Frank, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Season 7 of officiating is now in the books for me, so I can turn my attention to actually covering some games here, and then it'll be on to basketball.
Okay, well, we got I think it's 6 games on the docket for this week. We're going to make our picks, talk a little bit about those games, but we're also going to talk about games from last week. So I threw together some questions. Guys, Gary, why don't we start with you? Surprise score or result from week 1 of the playoffs?
I get to go first. I get to pick my 3 out of the SEC Red. I'm going to pick one since I get to go first. I thought it was a surprise that Saline lost to Canton. Canton's a good program, but typically the good big-time schools like Saline and solid defense as they have, they can normally keep that tee down enough to win, but they just didn't have it. I'm going to go with Saline losing to Canton. Okay.
Frank, how about you?
I got to go with Saline losing to Canton, too. I'm pretty sure I had Saline as a Final Four team, and then they get punked by Canton, who was only 5-4 coming in, but of course they have an equalizer, and that is the tea. And they pretty much served tea to Saline, to the tune of 38 lumps of sugar.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go west for mine. And that was St. Joseph beat Zeeland West 29-26. West was one of my Final Four picks in D3. The Bears of St. Joseph's had lost 4 straight games coming in, and the Ducks had won 5 straight. So that was a score that jumped out at me. Looking to this week, we've got 6 games on the docket. I'm going to run through them real quick, and then we'll ask a question. We got Clinton 8-2 at 8-2 Ida, 6-4 Dundee at Marine City, who was 10-0. We've got 7-3 Sand Creek at 9-1 Whiteford. We've got 8-2 Milan at 10-0 Chelsea. We have 9-1 SMCC at 9-1 Jackson Lumen Christi, and then 8-2 Allen Park at 9-1 Carlson. So the question would be, what is your best FNV game this week? Before we get into our picks, what's your thinking here, Frank? Which game tickles your fancy more than the others?
Well, for me, I think it's going to be the game that I will actually be in attendance at, and that is Clinton at Ida. It's a rematch of a regular season meeting that Ida came from behind and won. And of course, are they going to be able to pull off a win in a rematch? Because in their previous rematches with teams they've played in the regular season, it hasn't turned out well. Can they flip the script this time around? And plus also with Luke Levicki back in the lineup as well, he's been doing a good job. And is Clinton going to be able to shut down Owen Sampson like they did the first time? But it was Levicki they couldn't stop. Is that going to continue, or who knows? And plus Clinton has also seemingly kicked it into another gear in the second half.
Yeah, they really have. Gary, how about you? Which game?
My pick is brought to you by Zinnin Chiropractic, by the way. Go see Dr. Jody Zinnin. Get that back crunched.
Adjusted.
Okay, so I'm going to go with the number 1 versus number 2 playoff points wise in Division 7. That's the SMCC Falcons as they travel to Jackson Lumen Christi, and a rematch of last year, rematch of 2014, and rematch of 1982, I think. Big game, great opportunity for the Falcons, and they win this, they take over the 1 seed.
Okay. All right. I'm going to agree with Frank. And my game is the Ida and Clinton game. I think both teams have enough talent to make it to Ford Field. Ida beat Clinton in week 4, 26-20. I just think this will be a barn burner. So there's my I guess pick for FNV best game this week. All right, with that said, why don't we talk about the Clinton Ida game? Once again, Clinton is 8-2. Ida is 8-2. We know a little bit about Ida. I'm going to throw some stuff out there. Clinton is led by a sophomore, Nick Shadley, and junior Braden Lehman. Each of them have rushed for over 900 yards, and both have 17 touchdowns this year. If you throw in sophomore Joey Preston, he added another 500 yards and has 9 TDs as well. So they kind of have a 3-headed monster. Guys, do you want me to pick first this week, or someone else want to go?
You can pick first.
Well, okay, I'm going to go with Ida. I've been high on them all year. I think they have a very, very good team, and I'm not going to change that right now. So I'm going with the Blue Streaks. Frank, how about you?
This is going to be an interesting game. I know Ida won the first time around, and Clinton, of course, in that game lost George Ames, one of their top running backs and defensive backs, to an injury. But since then, Clinton has just seemingly ratcheted things up to another level. I mean, they've put up at least 160 burger that I know of, and Casey Randolph, someone who I've known for a few years when he was coaching youth football in Clinton. He does a phenomenal job there. And I've seen Clinton before when they get another shot at somebody who they lost to, and they prevailed over Blissfield last year. And I just have a funny feeling it's going to happen again. I want to be wrong. I want my Blue Streaks to pull this off, bring another trophy into their case, but I got to go Clinton. Just my gut feeling.
Okay, Gary, how about you?
This pick is brought to you by Lobo Car Detailing. Your car's dirty, you know where to go. Lobo. Go Lobo. All right, so Chris and I both kind of been high on Ida. And by the way, my internet connection is unstable, so I may just disappear. Just give you a heads up. And I said last week, we don't know exactly how good Ida is. Well, this is a chance to prove how good they are, because Clinton is good. And this game's at Ida. What's the name of the field, Frank?
Hemmelgarn Field.
Okay. I think the energy of what field is it again?
It's Hemmelgarn Field.
Hemmelgarn Field.
Anyone knows the name Ron Hemmelgarn? That's who it's named after, because he actually provided a lot of the funding for the new track and everything.
Okay. Is he still with us?
I believe so.
All right. Well, hopefully he's there. If not, they're in spirit anyway, one way or the other. I think the Blue Streaks win. Great game, great matchup. I'm going with the Blue Streaks. They are an energetic bunch. They will be fired up at home, and I think they beat Clinton.
All right.
And here's another little tidbit for you. Ida has never lost a home playoff game.
So why would you ever pick against them, Frank? They're not playing that.
Well, it's just
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It's just a strange feeling I have. I can't explain it. It's
okay.
I just have a bad feeling about this. I just think Clinton's not a favorable matchup.
Okay.
All right. Our next game, Gary, who's this game brought to us by?
What game is it? I'll tell you. I have a selection.
It's Dundee 6-4 at Marine City 10-0.
Oh, Dundee's brought to you by Country Time Tent Rental. Get your tents today.
Fantastic. All right. So this game, a little bit about Marine City. The Mariners are led by junior Zach Tetler. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards. He has 23 touchdowns. Junior quarterback Jeff Hayslip has thrown for 1,100 yards and ran for another 460 while accounting for 22 touchdowns. I'm going to make this pick first, and I am going to go with the Mariners of Marine City. They're certainly one of the best teams in the state in Division 5, I guess that is. And, whereas Dundee's having a fine season, their strength is defense. I don't think their defense is strong enough to stop Marine City, and I think Dundee will have a hard time scoring on them as well. So I'm going to go with Marine City here. Gary, how about you?
Marine City is a perennial regional power. I think they've been to Ford Field as well. Maybe even won it once. I'm not sure. They are a very good program. They consistently rack up 10 wins every year, it seems. This is a very tough task for Dundee. I'm gonna go with Marine City as my ESPN goes off. I'm going with Marine City, but of course we're pulling for Dundee. You know, if you're a team like the Vikings, my goodness, you're not supposed to win this game. You're just not supposed to win it. Go up there and lay it all on line. Have fun with your teammates. Play for your school. Play with heart. Play with pride. You know, these games where you're not supposed to win, you're playing with house money. Go get it.
All right, Frank, how about you?
Well, the one thing I've noticed about Dundee is they're not just built on defense, they're built on special teams as well. Braden Ratliff hit 2 field goals. That proved to be the difference in their win over Lutheran North. And also Jimmy Dusa, their punter, he boomed some big ones. And I think Pat McAfee should take notice of him if this ever gets to his way. But Marine City, I just think, is on a whole nother level. Dundee, I think, is going to try and control it, and win with defense and special teams, pin them deep. But Marine City, too much firepower. I got to go with the Mariners. Pulling for Dundee, though.
All right. Okay. So our next game is 7-3 Sand Creek at 9-1 Whiteford. Gary, who's this game brought to us by?
Sand Creek game?
Yeah, Sand Creek.
Oh, RKD Lawn Service, obviously. RKD Lawn Service. Get that lawn mowed. We got snow removal coming. My gosh, it's already freezing. Give Jeff a call. Get him out to your house. Get it right.
Does he do leaf pickups?
Yeah, all of it. They do everything.
Yeah, because I think you got to be more worried about leaf pickups before you're worried about snow removal.
Yeah, they'll do it all.
I don't know, man. I heard snow's coming. So, all right.
Oh, let's not go there.
All right. Sand Creek is 7-3. They're at Whiteford 9-1. The Aggies are led by John Alexander. He's rushed for over 1,650 yards. He scored 20 TDs. George Hilliard is a capable threat. He's rushed for over 600 yards and has 12 TDs. The Aggie defense is led by Carter Hewlett and Jack Pfeiffer. I am, with all that said, I'm going to go with Whiteford here. I just think they have a better team. I think they're a team that could make it to Ford Field. So I'm going to go with the Bobcats. Frank, how about you?
One more guy you should have mentioned for Sand Creek is Tylen Waltz, who's basically a wide receiver. He actually had a couple of touchdown receptions in a game I officiated. And a lot of those Sand Creek kids, I remember referencing them when they were playing youth football. Very good group. They play together very well. But so does Whiteford. And I just think Whiteford is on a different level. There's a reason why they're one of the top teams in Division 8. And I think they're setting up for a collision course with Hudson in the state semifinals. I'm taking the Bobcats in this one. They just have too much firepower, not just at the skill positions on offense, but on their line and on defense as well.
All right. Gary, how about you?
Did you mention Sand Creek was without Alexander? My internet is janky.
No, I didn't.
I heard rumors about that.
He's 100% out. And he's one of the best running backs in the state, certainly Division 8. He's out, so that is a tough blow for Sand Creek. You got to go with Whiteford here. There is no lake, but there is woods. Our woods. Yeah, Whiteford wins.
All right. Okay, next game is 8-2 Milan is at 10-0 Chelsea. Gary, who's this brought to us by?
Milan, you said?
Yeah, Milan.
Oh, well, that's LeBeau. LeBeau, Remax LeBeau team. Go see Tom Hines, Doris LeBeau. Fantastic people. You're looking for a house, looking to sell, looking to buy, just looking to check them out. Give those guys a call. They will treat you right. As I have said before, Tom Hines took me around, showed me several houses, and just fantastic. He's ready at the drop of a hat to
All right, perfect.
Provide service.
Okay. So once again, 8-2 Milan at 10-0 Chelsea. The Bulldogs of Chelsea were my pick to win Division 4. They're led by senior running back Trenton Hill, and senior quarterback Lucas Dunn. They play in the SEC White. They've won 25 regular season games in a row. Last year, they advanced to the Division 4 semifinals before bowing out to River Rouge. I really like Milan's team.
It was actually D3.
Okay, D3, whatever.
Easy, Frank. My God.
You know, so they advanced to the D3 semifinals last season before bowing out to River Rouge. Thanks for that, Frank.
Division 3.
Division 3, okay. So, I mean, I like Milan. You know, I like everything about their team. I like Jesse Hoskins, but I just think Chelsea's too good in this situation. So I'm going to go with the Bulldogs here, and you know, I just think they're too good for the Big Reds. Gary, how about you? What's your
Two towns that are pretty close to each other. This is, you know, it's another game like Dundee. Maybe not at that much of a disparity, but you know, this is a game where, again, you're not expected to win. You're playing the number 1 seed. Some think the number 1 team in Division 4, along with Hudson Unity Christian and Edwardsburg. You know, you just go out there and have fun with your teammates. Play hard as you can, and then when the final buzzer rings, look up at the score and see who won. That's all you can do. I'm going with Chelsea, but I think Maryland's going to battle. I think they're going to show how tough the Huron League is.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Gary. Frank, how about you? What's your pick here?
Well, Chris, I do remember you mentioning in the My Thoughts Not Yours column that you were saying that Milan should hope for a muddy track. Well, that wouldn't make a difference even if it was to rain on Friday, because Chelsea is a turf field. Very nice field. I've actually officiated on there. And truthfully, Chelsea, I just think, has way too much firepower, well-coached team. Milan will put up a fight, but Chelsea's just too much. I'm going with the Bulldogs in this one.
Frank, you know Chris signs our checks, right? Why are you breaking his? You know what?
You know, I knew that, right, Frank? I mean, that was me, you know, tongue in cheek. I've been to Chelsea's field numerous times. So, all right, let's move on to our next.
It is a nice field. If you want good barbecue in Chelsea, Smokehouse 52.
Why is it named 52, Frank?
Because it's right on Highway 52 in town.
Is that M52?
You would be correct.
All right, very good. All right,
I thought it was because it was open 52 weeks a year.
Well, you could say, if you want to put it that way, you can.
Yeah.
All right, next game, 9-1 SMCC at 9-1 Lumen Christi. Gary, who's this game brought to us by?
SMCC.
Yeah,
it's gotta be Cakes by Stephanie. You're looking for cakes. You're looking for cupcakes, pies, graduation, wedding cakes, whatever. Go see Cakes by Stephanie right on Monroe Street, right next to Tiffany's. And yeah, fantastic stuff.
I was actually at a wedding on Halloween, a Sunday, October 31st wedding at the Masonic Temple in Detroit in the shadows of Cass Tech High School. And the cake was from Cakes by Stephanie.
Wow.
It was delicious. So I threw this out at you while we were talking pre-show here, Gary. I don't know a lot about Jackson Lumen Christi, so I thought I'd throw something at you. You know, you're the color guy for 98.3 Nash Icon, who will be calling the game. What can you tell us about Lumen Christi?
I know Frank can tell us a lot more. I know Kari Willis's brother is on the team. He's not quite built like Kari Willis. He's a mammoth. He's got to be 6'5". Gosh, he's got to be 290, 300 pounds. Just a big boy on the offensive line. And they got 2 really good running backs. I know Frank knows their names. I've watched video on them. They run hard. And, you know, they do exactly what Coach Brogan wants them to do. If you get mad at the line of scrimmage, you're still going to get 5 yards because you're just going to run over people. And that's how they run. And good size offensive line. Not as big as Lumen Christi teams in the past. The ones that have won state championships, the 3 in a row. And before that, not as big. But they are all, you know, a lot of 190, 200-pound kids. and strong. They rally to the ball. That's what I know about Lumen Christi. Of course, about the Falcons, I've seen them play all year. They're going to be down at least one starting offensive tackle, and Jacob Bohr, 6'5", 300 pounds. Not exactly the recipe to beat Lumen Christi, to be down your biggest guy. But I'm going with the Falcons in this. They're not supposed to win, and I know they've had a great week of practice. They're excited to play. They're excited for this opportunity. And I really do believe SMCC controls the football. The score is going to be low. It's going to be under 20, I think. And SMCC pulls it out.
Okay, isn't everybody excited to be playing this time of year?
They should be.
Sorry.
I would hope so. Well, sometimes, the matchup, if you don't think you're going to win, the matchup is too great. Playing against teams like Lumen Christi, Chelsea, Marine City.
Sure. Okay.
That's tough. But I think all our teams believe they can win, and that's important.
Frank, your pick, and you want to add anything about Lumen Christi?
Well, I did. I knew that Corey Wilson's one of his little brothers was still on the team, although I didn't know he was that big of a guy.
He's not little.
Oh, okay. Well, younger brother. We'll just be correct there. And I mean, they're two running backs. I've read a little bit about them. I mean, it's kind of your typical Lumen Christi team. They're going to make their hay running the football and running it some more. I mean, look, this is another game where I want one of our teams to win. I know you guys have heard me refer to SMCC as my adopted, gutty, gritty, resilient Falcons. But Lumen Christi was my pick to win D7. I unfortunately have to stick with the Titans in this one. But I just think they're basically just going to be too much running the football. And plus, Gary, as you mentioned, SMCC without Jacob Bohr on their offensive line is going to come back to bite them.
Frank, if they were truly gritty, truly gutty, truly resilient, wouldn't this be the type of game they win?
Next man.
If they were truly those things, and I think they are, this would be the game they can win. This would be the game they win when they're not supposed to.
I don't disagree, but I mean, I'm basically I'm picking with my head here.
Okay.
Head
Lumen Christi,
SMCC, but head says Lumen Christi.
Lumen Christi is obviously a solid pick. Very good team.
Okay, and I didn't make my pick on that, but I'm going to go with Lumen Christi as well. I just think I think it'll be a great game. I just think Lumen Christi wins. All right, and that leaves us one game left. It is 8-2 Allen Park. We'll be traveling to 9-1 Gibraltar Carlson. You got a sponsor for this game, Gary?
No.
Is that everybody?
That's all six.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
So Allen Park is led by quarterback Ethan Gajewski and running back Scenario Hamilton. The Jags are led by veteran coach Tom Danowski. They shared the Downriver League title with Carlson and Woodhaven this season. Allen Park did defeat Carlson back in week 3, 42-14. Coincidentally, both teams are averaging 34 points per game, and both teams are giving up just 15 points per game. This is one that I've been bouncing around in my head. Part of me can't get past the 42-14 win by the Jags in week 3. But something just tells me that Carlson is not the team they were 6-7 weeks ago. So I am going to go with the Marauders in this game in a close one, probably something like 28-27. Frank, what's your pick here?
Oh boy, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people getting in my grill from Carlson. I know there were some who weren't happy about me picking them to win a close one over Trenton. And it's like, really, I picked y'all to win the game. It doesn't matter whether you win by one, whether I pick you win by 1 or 100. But anyways, getting down to brass tacks, I look at how the Downriver League was shared. Woodhaven, Carlson, Allen Park. And I think each one of those teams is a bad matchup for somebody. I think Carlson, bad matchup for Woodhaven. Woodhaven, bad matchup for Allen Park. Allen Park, bad matchup for Carlson. And look, I know Carlson has been white hot, win games, especially late in the year. But again, I just think Allen Park is their kryptonite. So I got to go with the Jaguars.
All right, Gary, how about you?
Landon Grove has the Marauders playing fantastic, and there's no doubt about that. He's got that team galvanized. I think if there's anybody that believes they're going to win, absolutely believes, it's the Marauders, and they should have every reason to believe that. Allen Park is a very good football team, no doubt about that. They beat Riverview last week. They are a good football team. They shared the Down River title, as you said, Frank. I'm going with the Marauders. I think it's their destiny to meet up with Rouge or King, most likely King, in the regional final. I'm going with the Marauders. I think they're just a team of destiny to get that district crown.
Okay. All right. So that's all our picks. We did have one more question that I had thrown out at you guys. So Gary, I'll start with you. Of the games, if you were a betting man, what is your best bet of the 6 games? What's your lock?
Does it matter who I pick to win? One of our teams or the other?
Doesn't matter which. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whatever.
Well, I can do both. I'm going to say Whiteford. Whiteford is an absolute beast. I saw him week 1 against Blissfield. Jeff Grote, I said that's your Division 8 state winner, title winner right there. And he might be right. And but they got to get to Fort Field first, and there's some teams on their way. But whoever they're playing this week, it's not that team. Whiteford rolls.
Okay, Frank, how about you?
I have to agree with Gary. It's Whiteford take care of business against Sand Creek. I know they put up a 50 burger against them. But then again, there aren't many teams they haven't done that to. I believe it was 58-40. Yeah, I think they are going to be able to take care of business. I mean, I think they could win it all in Division 8, but it's really going to depend on who they get through first. I mean, not to jump ahead to later rounds, they're probably going to end up facing Clarkston Everest Collegiate in the regional championship. And then I am hoping, please have this happen where they play Hudson in the semifinals. I think that'll be your de facto state championship game is Whiteford and Hudson in the semifinals. If that happens, get your popcorn ready for that.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with, I think my best bet is Marine City over Dundee. And in no disrespect to the Vikings, they've had a fine season. They're very good defensively. Everybody I talk to about Marine City says they are the real deal. They have a great program. They're good every year. They're good defensively. They're great offensively. I just think they're a lock to win that game. With that said, Dundee, if you beat them, I would gladly take that L right on my forehead. So with that, that's our picks. Guys, we got a couple minutes. You want to add anything before we go, Frank? Want to throw anything out there?
Well, I think really I'll pick a game that I think is one that can go either way. It's Ida and Clinton. I think these are 2 teams that are carbon copies of each other. They both run the T. Nick Shadley from Clinton and Owen Sampson from Ida. Similar running backs. This is a game where you could say Ida is Clinton, Clinton is Ida, Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel. And really, I think it's probably going to be the closest game. It probably comes down to the last play.
Okay. Gary, any parting thoughts?
Almost all of our teams, except for maybe Whiteford, I think they're definitely the favorite in that game. All of our teams have a fantastic opportunity to make a mark and just, pull off a game that maybe they shouldn't pull off. And I think that's just when I played, I always got up for those games. When I played, Jefferson and Riverview were the 2 best teams. And I just remember being up for those games more than any other. We lost, but it was still fun playing them because it was exciting to have the opportunity to beat such a good team. And I hope that all of our teams come Friday and they're preparing out this whole week. They show up Friday with a lot of pride and represent.
Okay, so I guess I didn't mention which game I was going to go to. It probably depends on the weather. It's supposed to be a little nicer, I think, on Friday. But
Yeah.
my plans are to go over to the Carlson game and see the Allen Park Jags and the Carlson Marauders.
You know, Chris, I got to call you out on this. You never go where you say you're going to go.
Yeah.
Ever.
Wow.
You don't, do you? Admit it. Admit it.
No, you're probably right.
Almost never. I think you're going to go to Ida. I think you're going to make a surprise visit to Ida.
I don't know. That's yeah, maybe.
I think
You
so.
know, I might go to Fortson and Woodhaven as well. Because my wife teaches over at Woodhaven.
I have a feeling who you're going to be pulling for.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, that paycheck pays for a lot at this house, so I would be rooting
Right.
for Woodhaven for sure. But anyway, I think the plans are to go over to Carlson. I'm going to try and drag my father along, see if he'll get out and go to a game with me. It all depends on the weather. If not, we will definitely watch a game on TV for sure, because with the NFHS system, you can literally watch almost every game.
A lot of games, yeah.
And it's really cool to jump around, and I throw it up on the big screen. It's really nice. So
Yeah, it's awesome.
all right, guys, we're running out of time. Let's just wind it down. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And for Friday Night Victors, for Gary and Frank, I'm Chris Schultz. Thanks for watching. Good night, everyone.